Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Mickey or Shek. We are playing Cafe Rouge. I don't know whose route I'm trying to go for at this point. We're trying to go with any route. Sorry for keeping the display menu set up. Please bear with me. This game is it's kind of glitchy, so if we skip an area or a section, I'll try my best to go back to it, but it may or may not work. Anyway, let's get back into it. Yes. For instance, the bright morning sun glared into my eyes. I still couldn't believe it. Valens is a vampire. Maybe my body just hasn't gotten over the shock yet. Like, you don't realize someone is dead and reality kicks in a few days later. Jeez, now I'm getting all existential again. Getting out of bed, I got ready for school. History class starts as usual. The bell rang soon enough, and Mr. Davidson came walking in soon after. Good morning, everyone. I have an announcement today. Tomorrow will be my last day. Did he just say last day? Things have come up, and I'll have to switch schools. Your normal history teacher will come back after I leave. Everybody groaned. With Mr. Davidson here, people were able to get away with so much stuff. He really is a softie. Now that this is over, let's start a class. Ronnie, do you want a goodbye present? Not the Ronnie. Oh my gosh. We should throw a goodbye party. Somebody order Chinese or pizza. No, both. I appreciate all this, but as expected, we skipped class entirely as the students took over. Poor Ronnie, my dude. I should head to Valens. Where is he anyway? A text from Val. Sorry, left school early. You know the way? KK, I'll find it. Sigh. Sigh. I was really hoping we could walk to this place together. It's been so long since I've been over to Valens' apartment. I wonder what he'll say, now that I found out Valens' secret. Pressing my fingers on the doorbell, it rang. Coming, coming. The door opened and Valen greeted me with a smile. Come in, come in. Mom's not here yet. She'll probably not come back for a while. Well, that's good, I guess. There's an awkward atmosphere. Valen led me inside. I like the music for this game. You want to play video games? Or... Yeah, sounds good. Let me go get the consoles for my room. Plopping down on the couch, I set down my backpack on the floor. While waiting for Valen to come back, I heard a familiar voice from down below in the street. I walked over to the window. Well then, tell him to refuse the offer. God, oh my god, she is so fine. Please, let me seduce her. Valen's mom was literally screaming into her phone. I've never seen her so angry before. We by far the superior party. Yes. We'll have to persuade more voters, not only from vampires. Of course this involves them too. Once I'm elected, the law will change. Those conservatives will have no idea they messed with the mess they're creating. For vampires, for non-vampires, for everybody. At the same moment, Mrs. Michaels glanced up towards my window. I don't know if you should be like yelling this out on the street, like where people can hear you, because if you're a huge political figure, people are probably gonna be like, she's kind of crazy talking about vampires. What are you talking about, sis? You know, like, but what do I know, right? What do I know? I ducked down immediately. Okay, I can only find Ninja Guardian. They're the only Nintendo Switch and Z-Box. I'm sure I could find more. Mickey? Valen's voice shifted my attention. Yes. Are you alright, Mickey? Let's tell him she's back. Val, your mom's back. Oh, she is? I thought she'd be coming back late at night. Val let out a frustrated sigh, furrowing his brows. You know what? Let's head over to your house instead. What? Why? Trust me. Packing up our stuff in our backpacks, Valen and I headed outside. Mrs. Michaels then came in. Mickey, darling, you're here. Where are you two going? I'm taking Mickey home. Valen took my hand firmly in his. Shooting her glare, mother and son exchanged silent looks with each other. Oh, what a shame. You better come back home before dinner, young man. Such a shame you can't stay longer, Mickey dear. Val's mom headed inside, closing the apartment door behind her. Come on, let's go. It's been so long since I've been in your room. Yeah. I plopped myself down in the bed. There was a long silence. Sorry I insisted on coming to your place. I don't like how I don't like how she handles things. She's very practical. Too practical. Being around her, it frustrates me. It's okay, Val. I patted the spot next to me. Valens followed my invitation and sat down. Like a tired little puppy, he rested his head against my shoulder. From the look on his face, it was obvious he was very troubled. I patted his soft hair to comfort him. Sorry, I should have told you long ago that I was, a vampire. I could only manage a small nod, not sure what to respond. It's such a relief, though, to not hide it anymore. Valens closed his eyes tightly, and then when he opened them again, his eyes turned a bright red hue, just like the night I saw him at the cafe. How did you do that? For every vampire, there's a normal eye color. I don't think purple eyes are normal, man. I'm just saying, you know. And then there's our red glowing eyes. We can switch them at will, but... Valens turned away looking at the floor. When we're hungry for blood, our red eyes come out. It's a sign that we're in need of blood. Is it hard being a vampire? Not really. No, I mean, I was born this way after all. It does get annoying sometimes. I have to drink blood as much as I need water sometimes. And it's hard to hide that in school. And then something clicked in my head. Were all those times he missed school, was it due to his vampire issues? He scratched his head, a sigh escaping his lips. Mickey, I'm still me. I'm still a normal human being with as much naivete. Yes. I think they're trying to go for naivety. Ah, man, I can't even say it. Childishness as any other teenager. Yeah. We exchanged laughs. The only thing's not normal about me, well, you already know. And I did. Valens came from a political family. Generation to generation, the Michaels family played a big role in federal government. They were only one step below the Kennedys, and Valens would be no exception. Mrs. Michaels had been grooming her son for a political career ever since he could start talking. Wish he could start on homework, huh? Yeah. We spread ourselves out on the floor, grabbing paper and pen. After finishing our homework, Valens left an hour later. Oh my god, I skipped something. Mom and Dad are arguing. I can't stand it. That woman is driving me crazy. There's something off about her. It gives me the creeps. Can't put my finger on it, but Mickey isn't Mickey. She's not our daughter. I know, honey. Suddenly, Mom burst into tears. I want our real daughter back. I want our baby back. I have this feeling that Mickey isn't who she says she is. She may have amnesia, and she may look exactly like Mickey, but she's not our baby. I know my daughter. This girl is not Mickey. I raised her ever since she was an infant. I know my own child. You don't say. Tell us more about how you know your child. Honey, we will get our real daughter back. For now, we just gotta play along with the girl and that woman. She might be holding our baby girl hostage somewhere, and that if we try to do something, that woman might do something to our real Mickey. Wow, that is really hard to hear, like, as a kid just walking in, hearing your parents say, oh, that's not our real daughter, that's a fake. What? I stayed hidden in the dark hallway. Overhearing the conversation, I became frozen by the sudden revelation. What do you mean I'm not Mickey? What in heaven's name do they mean? They want their real daughter back? Should I confront them? Yeah, let's confront them. I stepped in the living room light. Mom and Dad both looked shocked as they saw me appear. Mom, Dad, what are you talking about? Oh, Mickey, welcome home. How was your day? What do you mean? What were you talking about earlier? I half hoped they would relent their conversation to tell me that it was all a mistake, and that what I heard wasn't really what they were talking about. But instead of loving, doting words I wanted to hear and expected, they just continued to stare at me in silence. We weren't talking about you, Mickey. It's someone else. Go to your room, Mickey. No, what I heard wasn't something I misheard. What do you mean I'm not your daughter? Who's this woman? Who are you talking about? Go to your room, Mickey. If you still want to stay in this house, I suggest you cooperate and follow our rules. Mom and Dad stared at me with such coldness. I felt so alone. I had no choice other than to go to my room. Can I get my dinner first? There's frozen mac and cheese in the fridge. Yo, you cannot live off of frozen mac and cheese. Like, you need other nutrients. Damn, her parents really hate her. Just go heat it in the microwave. Microwave mac and cheese in the fridge again. I wish Mom and Dad would make me more home-cooked food. Just like before, when I first came home from the hospital after my accident. Slowly these past 3 years, they stopped doing less and less for me. A tear looked out of my eye, but there's nothing I could do about my situation. Skipping dinner, I marched straight to my room. I better do what they say. I had no other choice. I had no choice but to head to school. I didn't feel welcome in this house anymore. Time for school again. Yeah, it was a beautiful little montage. Another day of school's over. Time to head to work. I opened the kitchen door. Aldo's in the back counter holding baskets full of brown crud. Oh, hey, Aldo, what are you doing? Good afternoon, me dog. Good afternoon, me dog. Good afternoon, me dog. Miss Isis, just sorting truffles. Truffles? Yeah, can you not tell? Mamma mia, truffles. Never heard of. I know he's supposed to be Italian, but I feel like... Is it offensive if I do an Italian accent? I don't know. I've eaten chocolate truffles before. Aldo patted my shoulders. Try this. He slipped a thin slice of brown crud into my mouth. The aroma and taste bursted onto my taste buds and took me by surprise. This crud was super tasty, like eating an earthy perfume. No, I'm sorting the Chinese truffles from the Italian. Throw the Chinese away, please. They're just trash. Oh, wow. Then if you could please prepare the truffles for me, that would be lovely. Good luck. Did she even know how to prepare truffles? Like, she didn't even know what they were, and he's just like, oh, here, let me entrust you to take care of these truffles for me. It's chilly. I had a strangely daunting atmosphere. I didn't know why, but for some reason it felt unsafe. Well, I couldn't stay here at Cafe Rouge. I had to get home. Shaking off the weird feeling, I headed home. I stopped. Looking behind, I could have sworn somebody was following me. The echoes of footsteps were not my own. Stealing a glance behind, I saw a glimpse of a shadow disappear swiftly from my view. Panic rushed through me. I sped up my pace. Someone was here following me. Someone. I could hear them, coming closer and closer, louder and louder. Every once in a while, I looked over my shoulder, glancing cautiously at my surroundings. I sped up my pace. Strange. I couldn't hear them anymore. Oh. I couldn't hear them anymore. Could it be they stopped following? My hand covered my mouth completely. In my quick thinking, I jerked my knee up behind me. I hit him square in the nuts. How do we know it's a guy? How do we know it's a guy, you know? Because you couldn't see him. Why are you skipping ahead? He recoiled in pain, releasing me, and I made a run for it down the streets. I ran to Valens Street. I didn't know where else to go. It was the only place I could think of. Valen! I rang his doorbell, knocking on his door frantically. At last it opened. Mickey, what are you doing here? I swept my arms around him in a tight hug, shaking. Valen looked startled and hesitantly wrapped his arms around me. It's okay. No, someone's following me. What? Mrs. Michael stepped into the light, her shadow towering over the both of us. Her countenance was frightening, like a dragon disturbed from her sleep. Darling, what are you doing out here in the cold? Come inside, dear. It's warmer. And that's how you ended up here. Yeah. Holding the cup of hot cocoa in my hand, I took little sips now and then. Mrs. Michaels left the minute I came in, saying she'll be back in just a minute or two, but it's been an hour already. I wonder when she'll be back, or even why she went out. Val, tell me, what time is it right now? Pretty late, 11-ish at night. Darn it, I don't have enough time to finish my homework. Waited for a while Val was trying to comfort me, playing tennis on the Z-box with him. Then the door opened. I'm home, my children. Back already? Mrs. Michael shot her son a fiendish look. Valens sighed, tightening his grip on my hand. She erased the look on her face and immediately put on a smile. Mickey, darling, would you prefer to stay here tonight? You're welcome to sleep over if you want to. Yeah, we're gonna stay overnight. Well, I really don't want to trouble you. No, not at all, darling. By any means. Have some more of that chocolate and make yourself at home. Mrs. Michaels went upstairs, leaving the two of us in the living room. Do you want to sleep in my bed? I immediately flushed red. Me? Sleeping in Valen's room? No, it's fine. I'd rather stay here, on the couch. It's much more comfortable. Are you sure? Yeah, please. He smiled, returning to himself. I'll get you a blanket and a pillow. He went upstairs. After 5 minutes or so, I started pacing around the living room floor, pondering. Who were those people anyway? Vampires? I had an inkling suspicion they were. Of course not, you idiots. There's a voice from above the ceiling. The majority was muffled by the walls, but the voice was audible enough for me to hear, and for me to recognize who it was. Mrs. Michaels. Those weren't some random vampires. My men found 3, organized, clearly in their right minds. I'll tell you, it's the Redfords. I've had it with that blasted family coven. Those red blood's been nothing but trouble. That big old hick couldn't even control that son of theirs, getting himself killed. How pathetic. Yes, I know. How am I supposed to know how they found us out? Her voice was cut off in the middle of the sentence. For a long while, all was silent. That cafe! That blasted cafe! She said no more. Valens headed downstairs just after carrying a blanket and pillow in hand. Here's everything. Sorry, Valens. I think it's best I just head home now. What? You're not gonna stay? No. I think it's best I go. Let me walk you home. No. He stepped back, surprised by my yelling. Concern was on his face as he watched me with worried eyes. I'll be fine by myself. Really. I just really feel better now, and if I go home now... I gathered my things quickly and headed outside. Valens followed me out. Mickey, please, let me walk you home. He wouldn't let me go home alone, would he? Scratching my noggin, I suddenly thought of something. Grabbing his jacket collar, I pulled his face towards me and planted a kiss on his cheek. I'll be fine, Val. Really. Valens stood dumbstruck and completely flustered. Quickly, I left, making my way home. Another day of school, huh? My hands reached over to my bedside table. Eh? Where's my choker? I searched my bed, my desk, under the bed, under the desk, my entire room. This can't be happening. Where's my heart pendant? Did I leave it at the cafe? What if I dropped it last night while running? I crawled out from under my bed, only to hit myself hard against the hard wood piece of furniture. Ow! I couldn't worry about it now. I needed to head to school. Okay, another day of work, huh? Hopefully I can find my pendant. What's so special about the pendant? The kitchen was empty except for Aldo and I, and the hundreds of unclean dishes and pans stacked up in a heavy pile in the far corner. I will clean up. I might as well. Slipping on my apron, I get ready to scrub, except where was the sponge? Come on, Errol, just a little bit. One more round. No, can you just leave me alone, Damien? You always do this. Can't you see I'm busy? Jesus, we've been through this already. The two men came in, knocking over the pile of dishes and pans, and everything came tumbling down on me. I ducked my head, closing my eyes. One huge pan hit my back and one bumped onto my head. Ha, fine, we'll put it on your tab. You stole me the $50 stuff from that other time. Gambling. I shoved the pile of dirty dish debris off me, shooting a glare at the main culprit. Damien continued to laugh till he caught my eye. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. We're gonna give him the cold shoulder. I pursed my lips, ignoring him. Damien walked off, leaving through the back door to the stairwell. Moments later, the kitchen door creaked open. Diane stepped inside. Can anyone give me a hand on the stage? Just one person's enough. I eagerly volunteered. I can. Thank you, darling. My fingers fumbled with the wiring in the microphone system. Could you, repeat that again, Diane? I'm still confused. Oh, don't worry. Here, let me show you. Tomorrow night is one of the rare nights in the cafe I hosted a jazz show. A big-name band's coming over for a performance here on Cafe Rouge's stage. Dan wanted me to help her set up the electrical equipment. There. Perfect. Testing. My voice echoed throughout the dining hall and stage arena. Yep, the microphones are working now. Oh, I forgot one more thing. We need some corks. Gotta fix some table legs. Could you go look for some in Antoine's office? Sure. Man, why would she send a newbie who has no clue where anything is? But okay. But maybe Chris has some too at the bar. After all, he is a bartender. He must have some leftover corks from all the wine bottles he's opened. We're gonna go find Chris, because Chris is hot, and I want to seduce Chris. Chris! Silence stretched across the room in the bar counter. Was Chris really not here? I waited another 5 to 10 minutes. Guess I'll have to go back empty-handed then. Sorry, Dan. I couldn't get anything. Oh, I guess the customers can survive with uneven tables. It's fine, dear. Sounded kind of passive-aggressive, though. She patted my shoulder reassuringly. Let's have a toast. I'll get the drinks. To a job well done. Hours passed. Diane and I continued to work on stage, preparing the tech equipment. Could you bring the empty glasses to the bar? Chris can clean them. Oh, sure. But Chris wasn't at the bar. Well, maybe I could just leave them there and let him deal with it tomorrow. Arriving at the bar, I smiled in the quiet surprise at who arrived. Chris! Oh, hi, Mickey. He was cleaning the bar counter with a rather greasy-looking towel. How are you? I didn't see you all day today. Haha. You should visit the bar more often. I'm here all day, every day. Huh? All day? No, it couldn't be. I waited for a long while and he didn't come. Oh, really? Strange. I didn't see you earlier when I came. Chris blinked. Of course I was Mickey. I might have been in the bathroom at the time, so you might have missed me. Oh, I see. I set the empty glasses on the counter. Diane asked me to bring these over to clean. Sure. Just leave them. Chris set the towel aside, taking the glasses one by one. Oh, and Alda called for you. Not sure what he wanted, though. Could you go to the kitchen? He's there. That's where he said for you to go. Okay. As I walked away, I couldn't help but look back. I could have sworn he came just now. On my way to the kitchen, I waved my hands to my two coworkers. Hi, Diane. Adeline. Hello again, Mickey. Did you drop off the glasses? Yep, and now Alda needs me. Oh, pish posh. You're always in the kitchen. I'll go help Alda instead. Oh, it's really okay, Adeline. I'd be glad to. Nonsense. By all means, let me. You should help Diane with the tables. I heard you've been a huge help. Patting my head, Adeline smiled as she walked off. She's really such a sweetheart, isn't she? Yeah, Adeline's really nice. Unlike Candace. Fuck Candace. Me and my homies hate Candace. Speaking of which, where is she? By the way, Diane, where's... The fuck was that scream? Diane and I exchanged stupefying looks. We were both paralyzed for a full minute. At last our eyes blinked and we felt our lungs breathing again. What was that? It sounds like it came from the kitchen. Our eyes met one last time. We headed to the kitchen. Hello? Aldo? The stove was on fire and there was smoke everywhere. Diane quickly found the fire extinguisher, putting out the smoldering flames. All was quiet. Diane was right beside me now. Gasping, she covered her mouth with both hands. Following her line of visions, I stepped back in horror. Oh! Adeline? Errol? I covered my mouth staring at the two bodies. I was about to faint from the familiar scent of rusting salts. Adeline was badly burned, and Errol was sitting upright with a long butcher knife through his chest. Both still and dead. Oh my gosh, we need to call the police, now. Nodding, my shaking fingers fumbled into my pocket, pulling out my phone. 911? No, give it to me, dear, let me. I handed her the phone. Soon after Diane dialed, she was rambling into the phone too fast for me to keep up. I looked away, trying not to grow faint. There was nothing for me to do but wait. Damn, I feel like this was Valens' mom. Everyone is gathered in the dining hall. Antoine was talking to the vampire authorities policemen outside, while we were all gathered here away from the crime scene. Diane comforted me, wrapping me in her arms. A few times I was on the verge of tears. It was all too horrifying. Damien sat alone, his back to us all. Aldo was shaking, but I wasn't sure why. Candace was not too far from us, quiet in her own surprise. And Chris paced along the carpet floor, back and forth, with a troubled look carved on his face. It was long before the familiar echoes of footsteps reached the dining hall. We looked up to see Antoine walk toward us. So, Errol lost his sanity due to his depletion in blood, attacking Adeline, who used a kitchen knife in self-defense against Errol. In her misfortune, the oven exploded, knocking her unconscious and burning her to death, while leaving Errol bleeding to death with a knife in his chest. A tragic accident of 2 innocent lives, or so the police report rules. His eyes narrowing, pointing an accusing look on Damien. You're all dismissed for today. Antoine's footsteps echoed throughout as he left. None of us moved. We all knew it wasn't an accident. Looking around the room, suspicion grew as we all exchanged accusing glances with one another. Someone here was a murderer, and that someone was here today at this cafe. But who? And why? I was still shaken, and the cold night air didn't help at all. There was one person I wanted to hear his voice, and I was searching through my recent calls with first names right now. Hello, Mickey. Hey, Val. Mickey, hey, what's up? Did you just finish your shift? No words came out of my mouth. Hello, Mickey. Yeah, I'm still here. My lips quivered and the tears suddenly poured from my eyes out of control. Val could probably hear my sniffling. Mickey, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. Don't be a crybaby now. What's happened? It's nothing. Just something scary. Take deep breaths. Deep breaths. I can't understand you, Mickey. Just keep breathing. I'm here, okay? I nodded, though he couldn't see me nod. You want to come over to talk about it? Go over. Sniffling, I nodded. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, I'll be waiting. Mickey? Hmm? I love... Just breathe and stop crying. He ended the call. Wiping my eyes, I took a deep breath, calming down. Everything would be alright. After all, Val's with me. Okay. So I think that is a good space to end on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you liked what you see, please make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!